Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky15, where I'll be giving you my each way Lucky15 predictions for tomorrow's horse racing action as usual here on the channel. If you're brand new to our channel, welcome to Lucky15. The main reason I created this channel is because in September I'm going back to university to study a master's degree in sports broadcasting journalism. So I thought I'd create a channel to give myself some confidence, some experience in creating content every day, sharing with you my passion of horse racing, and I just thought I'd do this in the format of an each way Lucky15 bet, a popular bet amongst punters and something that I also like to do when I do my own personal horse racing bet. So it's just to have a bit of fun at the end of the day. We do this every day, mainly five or six times a week, and we just have a bit of fun and a laugh on the channel really. But I just want to apologise for not making a vlog for today's run-ins. There's only two cards on display today, as it were, in horse racing at Pontefract and New Toxteth. And it was mediocre horse racing. It wasn't the best you're ever going to see, but it wasn't the worst. And like I said, there wasn't much to be getting stuck into, and also as well, for personal reasons, I couldn't make a vlog. So sorry if you were expecting a vlog for today's action. But anyway, we're going to bounce back hopefully for this week. We're going to be at Goodwood later on in the week. I can't reveal too much about that at the moment. We won't be filming there for the channel as such, but I will be there, so I probably might be active on Twitter through the day that I'm going. It'll be Thursday that I'm going, on Ladies' Day, and I'll talk about that more in the week once I know more information, and I will be able to tell you guys, so stay tuned to us on that one. Also as well, this week we're going to have the second loader look. Our first loader look, if you didn't see it last week, was it's about a theme really, this series, a theme that's going on in the world of horse racing at the moment. I looked at an interesting debate between Ryan Moore and Frankie Dettori, which is the better jockey. And certainly this weekend, Frankie stole the headlines with Enable, which we didn't select in the race. We went for Ben Battle in the King George, more at the price angle, but we always said Enable was going to be probably one of the most likely contenders and definitely the one to beat, and boy did she put up a performance. It was very great performance really, putting a lot of horses to bed. It would have been interesting though if the ground had been more drier, maybe more firmer, and it would have been maybe a bit more of a competitive race. It was an absolute walkover. I'm not saying Enable still wouldn't have won the race if the ground had been firm, but it might have been more of a close, exciting finish instead of an absolutely impressive display where she seems to love the softer ground. The only question why I didn't go for Enable was at the price at the time. I personally thought it was a little bit too short. Obviously, this was the first time she rung against older horses, and you'd never know how that's always going to fare, but on her previous performances she lived up to expectations and she did the business, and it was a great ride by Frankie Dettori, and it'd be really interesting to see where Enable goes next. So if you backed Enable there, I'm sure a lot of you did out there, well done on that. I also will just go over our other Saturday runners as well. Our Nat Pathau didn't run too badly in third place. To get the each way there, we needed it to finish in the first two. Jockey rode it quite nicely, but then I think it delivered it a little bit too late, if I'm personally honest, and maybe the horse could have been a bit more prominent instead of resting at the back, because it did run on really well, and on another day it could have probably won the race. So it wasn't the worst selection you're ever going to see there. Other horses that ran were Mustard at Ascot, somewhere back in the field. In the end, didn't run a good race. And the other horse we backed was Farak. Again, same kind of story really, prominent but finished back in the field. And also as well, it was very hard at Ascot. There was one race in particular, the 3 o'clock, the big handicap, which if you did a play spot there, boy did that wipe it all out. The 50-1 Stamp Mill won for Richard Fahey, which no one saw that coming, and there was about 3 other horses in the race there that finished at odds of 20-1 or more, so that was definitely a place pot buster. I think the place pot was over £3 to a £1 stake, so if you were fortunate enough to do the Ascot place pot, that was a great bet there. So yeah, so we didn't do the best on Saturday, bit disappointing. We had been slightly improving last week, but Saturday was a bit of a downer. I tend to not do so well on the Saturdays. It's always more harder when you have a better mix of horses running, and it's always hard to maybe sift through the ones that are really going to run well. So disappointing on Saturday, but we're going to move on. We've got an exciting week ahead. We've got Goodwood coming up, like I said, which hopefully I'll be there at. Also as well, we've got the Galway Festival in Ireland, which we'll be touching on a little bit later in this vlog, and that'll be lasting a lot of the week. That's a mixture of jumps and flat. Let us know in the comments box below if you would like more festivals around that kind of theme instead of just having a flat and a total jumps festival. I think it'd be quite good to see a mixture of both types of racing at one festival, if I'm perfectly honest, but that's just my opinion. Let us know what you think on that one. Anyway, I'm going to be getting stuck into tomorrow's horse racing action. Normal ways apply, each way Lucky15 bet, and hopefully we can bounce back tomorrow. Our first selection that we're going to go for tomorrow is a horse called Too Many Diamonds for Harry Skelton riding here, and he's riding for his brother Dan Skelton, who had a treble today. I have mentioned a few times on the channel that I've got a double bet going on for Dan Skelton to be the champion trainer over the jumps and Harry to be the champion jockey over the jumps. They're doing alright so far, but obviously that will be tested out in the winter where there'll be lots more jumps fixtures, and it'll be really interesting to see if they can still flourish on the jumps scene. I got odds at Harry at 50 to 1 to be champion jockey. You can now get him at 20 to 1, and then I also had Dan Skelton at 40 to 1. So for more of an outside prices, I thought they were quite high. So they're doing alright so far, but obviously, like I say, there'll be a lot more jump racing to come as we get nearer the winter, and there'll be a lot more races there where the prize money will be bigger as well, so that definitely affects it. Anyway, back to Too Many Diamonds. He's riding, this horse comes from an informed stable, good jockey aboard it. It had been progressing very nicely. It had won a hat-trick and it was rising up the handicap, where it finished third, I believe, at Worcester last time in an okay race. It wasn't beaten too far off. Not all horses take to Worcester because it's a bit of a different track, especially with the jumps. But I thought this horse tomorrow was currently priced at 6 to 1. Could be a good price there to make the frame at least, because he's going to be not too bad in the weights tomorrow. He's riding off a mark of 103, which is similar to a few of the other horses, and they haven't arrived here in great form, and I think Too Many Diamonds brings the best piece of form currently in the race tomorrow, and I thought at a price he could definitely be one to make the frame. So he's going to be our first selection tomorrow, and incidentally is our long shot, even though 6 to 1 isn't the most long shot price you're going to see. So Too Many Diamonds there is our first selection, 345 at Newton Abbot. We then go on to my nap for tomorrow in the 4 o'clock at Ayr with a horse called Euro Nightmare, which is currently 5 to 1 bookmakers at the moment. It's trained by Keith Dalgleish, and Graham Lee will take the ride tomorrow. Now this horse is quite a respectable 3-year-old. It's got a mark of 87 and it has been racing in a lot better company. Last time out it ran in Glasgow Stakes, which is a listed race, which I think was at Hamilton. That was a pretty tough ask for this horse there. This is more realistic tomorrow, meeting a few horses that are lower handicap marks than 87, and this horse tomorrow will be receiving a little bit of weight with the £3 allowance. I definitely think it could bounce back tomorrow, especially because of the company that's been running in of late, and I thought this was more realistic, and I thought 5 to 1 Euro Nightmare was quite a good place prospect then, could definitely feature and win the race tomorrow. I think this is more its cup of tea, and it's definitely going to probably run a good race tomorrow in my opinion, probably finish stone dead last, but that's going to be my nap for tomorrow. Euro Nightmare I thought had a really good chance in this race tomorrow, so let us know if you agree with us on that one. Our next selection then sees us go over to Ireland in the Galway Festival, like we mentioned. We're actually going on the first race there in the 520. This was nearly my other consideration for a nap. It's Nessun Dorma, trained by Willie Mullins, who's the king of Irish jump racing, as it were, as a trainer. Ruby Walsh's main man takes the ride tomorrow. Currently 9 to 4 bookmakers at the moment. And again, this horse here comes in a great vein of form. 2 wins over 2 starts and hurdles, with some nice victories there by putting in some good performances, beating a couple of nice horses along the way. It's got an interesting pedigree, being from Canford Cliffs, and also I think on its on the dam side, it's related to Galileo, so that's an interesting pedigree there. Galileo, I've noticed, is starting to have a little bit more of a jump grouping of horses. Also as well, this horse tomorrow is, like I said, from the Willie Mullins stable, and this race incidentally has been won by Willie Mullins the last 3 years in a row, and he brings in here another strong contender. The market rival, you could argue, was La Richebourg, but I thought that was probably a little bit too short for my liking, and I thought out of the front two, Nessun Dorma was probably the one for me. But also Barry Geraghty will be riding that La Richebourg tomorrow, so it might just take him a while to get back into the seat, as it were, because he's been out for quite a few months since the meeting at Kempton before the Cheltenham Festival, where he picked up a knock, and that kept him out for a while. So it's good to see him riding again, and it could be an interesting battle back for him against Ruby in what potentially could be a 2-horse race. So yeah, I thought Nessun Dorma had a great chance in this race tomorrow, and that's going to be our third selection there in the 5:20 at Galway. We then go to the 8:20 at Galway, which is a horse that we've backed here, or it's actually the 8:10 I should say, with a horse called Hyperdrive, trained by Jessica Harrington, and Colm O'Donoghue, her main flat man, is taking the ride here. This horse looks really interesting on paper, 7-2 bookmakers at the moment. It's going for a hat-trick here tomorrow after an impressive win last time out at Leopardstown. Seems to be very versatile on the ground. It's also going to be not too bad in the weights tomorrow compared to some of its other rivals. It's also got interesting pedigree from Master Craftsman, which is not a bad sire to have in the pedigree. And I thought more of a favourite price, 7-2. I thought that was definitely not a bad price there, because this could be one of those horses that people start to lay into at an early price, and it could go off a lot shorter. So I thought that was quite an interesting one there. I thought Hyperdrive had a great chance of featuring in this race tomorrow, and hopefully will get us a win there to make it 4 out of 4 tomorrow. But anyway, if you've had a good day or a good weekend I should say on the horse racing, let us know in the comments box below. Also, let us know if you've got any good tips for tomorrow. If you want to take me on at my own game in the selections that I've gone for there, please let us know what you would pick. Also as well, just to let you know, we'll be having the second loader look, the debate in horse racing this week, which I probably will look at what happened at Yarmouth, so stay tuned for that. Also follow us on Twitter or Facebook if you don't already, at Lucky15. Gamble responsibly, don't gamble too much, always gamble within your means, and yeah, we'll be seeing you soon.